Bonjour! Hey guys, I'm gonna go check out a movie. You guys want to come with me?
Whee! Welcome to this episode of Check Out Cinema, a podcast where two librarians and their wonderful friends check out movies and review them.
Yay!
Yay!
Today we have on the podcast my dear friend and winner of our giveaway, Joey. Hey,
Hi!
Joey.
I'm
Joey,
excited.
Yeah, we're very excited to be here with our dear friend Joey. Joey and I have known each other for several years, so it was such great, kismet that he's the one who won the giveaway all those months ago for our, was it 100?
It was for our 100th. No, it was for a full year of being a podcast, but also at the same time we had hit 100 followers on Instagram.
So
we needed to do something to celebrate.
Yeah.
And that meant doing a giveaway. And then how lucky we are that it was with Joey because one, we know you, you're our friend. You live in town.
Live in town.
And we can trust you. It would, as fun as it would have been to have, or maybe not fun, but interesting to have a total stranger. Where would we podcast?
Right.
Because we're having so much fun with our French wine, our French cheeses, our French friendship.
Our French podcast hovel.
Yeah,
upstairs.
So, it wouldn't have been the same.
It's very on vibe with what the movie that we're going to be going over, of course.
What is the movie, Joey?
The movie in question is Amelie, one of my favorite films growing up. How I came across this movie, I was going through a really bad breakup, and then one of my friends had suggested, hey, I got a movie. One of the times that she had come over and we were going to have a movie night or whatever, so it was Amelie, and I'm like, I love French films. My grandmother's French. So it was really exciting, and I was down for it, and honestly, one of the best films I have ever seen. The cinematography, the score, the story, just everything about the movie was this is what I need at this time.
That is so special.
Yeah.
We've talked about before, we love to hear why people have their favorite film, what brought them to the film, what they still love about the film today. So, as I've said many times, it's always a treat to watch someone's favorite movie.
Janine said it before because you learn so much about the person. Getting to know something that speaks to their very heart or that has helped them through a difficult time or a source of joy and the best times of their life. You really learn so much about how a person is able to express their feelings through film. And so we so believe in that.
Yeah, it really did turn into one of those feel-good films, one of those films that I kind of go to when I'm having a bad day or whatever, and it's just it's a comfort film now.
That's what I was going to ask is, do you watch this movie often?
Oh, yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah, I watch it, especially if I'm having one of those days where I'm just I can't function today, I'm just gonna bed rot for a while, I'm gonna watch my movies, because I've got a slew of comfort films and stuff, comfort shows, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
love
perfect.
Buffy. But yeah, Amelie is definitely top tier on the list of I'm having a bad day, so I'm going to turn it around and watch my favorite girl that likes to turn other people's lives around and have a good day. So
she gets to do that for you too.
Yeah, exactly.
So sweet.
Madonna of the Outcasts. Or no, Godmother of the Unloved, Madonna of the Outcasts. Amelie has turned her sights onto you and is hell-bent on making your life better through a little whimsy and love.
Yes.
So I'll admit, I really went into this movie knowing almost nothing about it other than the most absolutely surface level ideas of who Amelie was through Tumblr posts, aesthetic, that kind of stuff, because Amelie herself kind of became a symbol for, in many ways, quirky women. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of had this idea. This was about a manic pixie dream girl. I didn't know. I had harsh ideas of the film before I watched it because of that. And then I was just so surprised at how much I truly enjoyed it. And it makes sense, the movie that has a long-lasting impact that many people enjoy, so why wouldn't I enjoy it too? But I was very pleasantly surprised by the film, and you're right, it has really great cinematography and lovely narrative threading and a good character arc and development. It's really nice. Was this your first viewing, or had you seen it before?
Oh, no, I had seen it before. I also watched, a lot of French films, but, in genuinely, a pretentious way, the way the way that I was shown French movies by my dad.
Y'all are just smarter than me.
Well, no.
Whatever.
Come on. Count yourself among us, because you are. But I'm pretty sure that I watched it probably at least twice, maybe once as like a young girl and then again like in high school, or maybe for, honestly, probably like a French class. And then it had really been some time. And this time around, I was just so swept up, genuinely, in the romance of it all, in ways that I knew I hadn't been before. Because I think as a little girl, I just like so loved this fantasy world that she lived in, because I think we all live in our own.
Right.
But then now, as an older woman who is seeking love or looking for love or hopelessly in love or is a hopeless romantic, the romance of it all really, really touched me this time around. So much so to the point where it genuinely moved me to tears.
Yeah.
I can't imagine multiple viewings how this movie changes for you.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious, this time around, was it any different for you?
So, I mean, the movie came out in 2001 in France, and it came out in 2002 in America, right? Mm-hmm. And like during that time, like, I mean, of course I had seen like commercials or like advertisements for the film prior to actually watching it, and like it just so happened to be during that time when my friend had brought it over for me, and like we're gonna sit down and watch this movie, it's a really good film. It does take you away. And like even after that initial wow, oh man, this movie is very moving, it's very like, it is very quirky, it is very whimsical and romantic and stuff. It's also very frustrating. It's also very, you have the argument with yourself whether or not is she controlling, or, because she does take on that role for other people where she sees an issue, she goes for it and doesn't think twice about it, or how she should approach the obstacle when it comes to other people, right? So like just watching it now, it still gives me like butterflies that cute. Feel good, like, oh my God, she's so selfless for other people, and she tries so hard to like fix other people's lives. But at the same time, you have to look in yourself. She has to be there for herself. And she ultimately finds that at the end of the film. She does choose herself.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies that you kind of realize, you're like, I can choose myself too.
I like that.
Yeah.
Joey, that's just so sweet what you've said, and I just want to hear so much more from you. So for anybody that's listening that hasn't seen it, how would you describe it to them?
Okay, so if you're into whimsy, if you're into imagination, like full blown using your imagination, then look out for this movie. Like definitely give it a shot. It's gonna leave you laughing, it's gonna leave you frustrated, it's gonna leave you in tears for sure, because it does have that melancholy aspect to it. You're gonna experience a lot of emotions, but a lot of them are very positive.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the way Joey described it to me was that it's a movie full of whimsy. He said, if you like whimsy, you're gonna like this movie.
Yeah.
We have our central character, Amelie Pouline, and she lives in a very artsy district of Paris, Montmartre. She's a waitress. She is young. She lives alone and very introverted. Growing up, her parents were present, except until when her mother passed away in a very tragic and freak accident, totally like leaving her already emotionally stunted father even more emotionally stunted. He never got over that, which is very sweet and very romantic. But she's a young girl who the sort of parental or familial love was expressed differently than maybe what she needed, or than maybe what other people would have experienced. So then, as a adult woman, love to her is something that she sees outside of herself. It exists in other people, and she seems to see it very clearly in others, but doesn't really seek it out for herself. She starts to deepen her relationships and connections to the people around her, because as she can see, sort of a bird's eye view of people's lives, she sees how she could intervene to make people's lives better. And she believes in that. And so she does. Just like Joey says, that she, without thinking, she sees how she can improve someone's life, and she does it. Sure, along the way, maybe she finds out that perhaps her first go around wasn't so successful, but people have indeed learned something about themselves, changed their lives. And then she finally is able to do the same for herself. She meets a man, And the two of them are dreamers in almost the exact same way. And her dream is to help him achieve his dream, or rather solve a mystery that's been plaguing him for quite some time. And she helps him solve it. And then the greatest mystery that she solves for herself is, what would it be like to be in love? It is so romantic that you really do just get swept up in that, it's French sort of feeling.
The French.
It is interesting to have a character who is kind of removed from emotion. Like, clearly interested and excited by emotion in the way that it manifests in other people, but I think was too pulled away from her own manifestations of emotions. Like, the movie starts, I was thinking about this, you know, we often talk about in plots, like the idea of something starting in medias res, so that's like in the middle of the story, right? But the other type of story that you can have is the Latin term ab ovo, which literally means from the egg, which this film is quite literally from the egg, because it shows Amelie's moment of conception as like the beginning of the story, which is just like any story that's ever tried to start at the beginning has never gone that quite far to the beginning. So I thought that was very interesting, but it goes through like some of her formative childhood moments, and her parents, like you said, being perhaps not the most comforting of parent types. It's ironic because they both are in roles that should give them that kind of level of comfort, because the dad is a retired army doctor.
Bedside manner, you would think, but
taking care of people. Right. And then the mom is a schoolmaster. So somebody who's working with children all the time and guiding them for their lives, and yet the two of them are almost so wrapped up in their own neuroses that they diagnose Amelie with a heart problem because her heart beats so fast when she's excited to be around her dad.
Yep.
So it's just very interesting, like this idea of like, why would she have this reaction to strong emotions? Is because she couldn't even be happy to be around her parents.
I didn't know that that's what that kind of storytelling was called, because I just want to say that I think it's so interesting that we start with the moment of true intimacy and closeness that gave us Amelie, and then we watch her as a little girl in the opening credits playing by herself and already establishing that sort of lonely introvert child. And so born out of closeness, and then lives a life of almost like total emotional isolation, and still finds capacity and real joy still being around people, not afraid of people in the way that her parents are, really seeking it out.
Because her mother dies when she's young, right?
Yeah. Yes.
A woman jumps off of a church, like this woman commits suicide and lands on her mom, killing her on impact.
Exactly.
So again, at that same time, it's like a strong emotion kills her mother. Someone else's strong emotions lead to her mother's death. So again, like, why wouldn't she be so kind of fascinated, interested, maybe morbidly so, in the way other people feel things strongly? Because she's there in that moment, you know, it's just like shows her turning up. But we've also seen her mom be quite neurotic in several points in her childhood, like their fish kept absconding from the fish tank. Yeah. And her mother cannot handle it any longer and decides to free the fish. Yeah, exactly. Decides to free the fish in like the river. And there's that beautiful scene of the fishbowl being thrown in after the fish. And that was Amelie's, her only friend, like, was this little pet fish. So Amelie, as she navigates her adult life, because we get like a pretty hard cut from her childhood to her literally walking out the door to go into her adult life away from her father's house. And her father is still trying to cope with the loss of his wife. He has an outdoor shrine where he's housed his wife's remains, or cremains, I should say, which is just absolutely fascinating, which he has topped with a little garden gnome. And that garden gnome will become important later on. So Amelie goes into the city to start her life. And we see her There's the great transition of her. She's walking out. She's got the long hair. When we see her established, she's got short hair. Very chic, very independent.
Very French.
And she's a waitress. And that establishment in which she's a waitress is very interesting to me as an American because it looks like a diner.
It does have the look of a diner, and then it also crossed with a bar
And a pharmacy.
And a pharmacy.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's just very French as well.
We might just not have the cultural cachet to be able to understand the full picture where she works. But it really works for her character because it touches so many worlds at once.
That's true. Cafe culture, no, we don't have that where you really get to like linger somewhere. Like we try at coffee shops, but those don't open until how early or they close early.
Yeah.
Nobody's really like, you could hang out at the Waffle House all day, but I don't really think that you would want to.
Unless you're ready to fight.
Yeah, like somebody, like your friends are going to check out, like, are you okay? You spent the last 3 days at the Waffle House, but like that's totally normal, I guess.
Did you lose
Right.
your fantasy football team ranking? Is that why you're here? But, she's working as a waitress in this establishment, and she's got her regulars that come in, and she's starting to kind of understand the human condition through these moments. And explain how she runs into the man who kind of becomes the love interest in the film.
Nino. Yeah.
She sees him get
well,
after someone.
she is on her way home to her house. She's visited her dad.
Yeah.
She took the gnome. She's taking the gnome home. She has plans for the gnome.
Yeah.
And it's when Nino is kneeling down in front of a photo booth. It kind of looks like he's looking at trash. We don't really know what he's doing down there, but they lock eyes, and there seems to be this like real moment of like knowing or understanding that sort of like love at first sight.
Yeah.
And then she gets up the courage and she turns around. She wants to speak to him, like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. And then she watches him run after this man. And so she chases him too. And this man later on becomes the fixation of Nino. And then in turn is the fixation for Amelie, as Nino is also her fixation. Mm-hmm. But everything in motion, chasing after something or someone.
That's where the frustrating part of the film is where like they're constantly missing each other. Mm-hmm. And
because it's established from the very beginning, actually, because in that first moment they see each other, there's like a flashback of sorts as the narrator describes how two dreamers interact with each other and shows this beautiful little like clip of the two as children communicating as flashing lights across the city. Both of them having been estranged from society because Amelie was homeschooled because of the supposed heart condition.
Right.
And he was ostracized. He was bullied. For reasons unclear, I think just because they targeted him because he was weaker or more sensitive maybe than the other boys. So we already have an established misconnection, which I think really does well for kind of building on to that. I really liked that.
Yes.
And so when she chases him out of the metro, he jumps onto his motorcycle to chase after the man that we at this point don't know who he is and drops this scrapbook of sorts, which is fascinating.
It's got all of these photographs. So if he's in front of the photo booth, it looks like those are the photographs that people are discarding. Like they don't like it, or the picture's not what they want to keep. And it also seems as though some people are repeat photo booth offenders. But there's something really sweet because, again, we've got now, that's 2 examples of mementos. Actually, 3 at this point. The shrine to Amelie's mother, her memory, her loving memory, or her memory as perpetuated by her husband, left behind missing her, Lady D, Princess Diana.
Yeah, Princess Diana.
She plays a really big, which is so funny, like such a, I mean, it's not, rest in peace. That's not
But
funny.
it's a very cultural moment. Like it
is.
It dates the film. Like
Yeah.
I was very surprised.
Does a fantastic job of dating the film, but people love her so much, and now there's this like collective grief and like how will we remember her?
All the viewers joining us at now 1 a.m. We have all evening long been covering an unfolding story that took a very, very tragic turn with confirmation from Buckingham Palace tonight that the world has lost Princess Diana at age 36, dead in a car crash in Paris, along with her companion of the past several weeks, Dodi El Fayed.
So again, this question of memory, like what do you leave behind in life? And then now again, these photographs, and these are torn photographs. People don't want these.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Discard them, and then he saves them. He saves their memory.
What I think is interesting is not only do the people not want them, I think you tear them in half so that nobody can have them. The idea is that nobody can use the photo, and yet he pieces them back together.
He does. That's such a beautiful way of describing it too, because like he definitely does save their memories.
Well, what's interesting is that at that point, they would have been, photochemical photo booths. Nowadays, I'd say like 99.9% of photo booths are digital. So, you have all your fun little frames, all that kind of
True.
stuff,
Yeah.
all that kind
Filters.
of stuff.
Yeah.
All that, so like the Pika culture, like out of Japan, like where they do like the extreme like photo filters and stickers,
right.
it's very augmented like kind of reality. But a photochemical booth, like it's taking a photo of you as you are in that moment. No real filter. And it's really cute. It's a fun little memento. I highly recommend if you can find a photo booth near you, which you can still find in some old cities like San Francisco, New York City, LA, some of those cities that hold on to some of those cultural modes. It's special to have this real image of you exactly as you are. And so the idea that then somebody would reject that image, tear it in half, throw it away, and then what really drives him to collect those moments, we don't really know. And I don't think we ever really get to truly know, other than that we know he's a dreamer. Mm-hmm. And that he's kind of fascinated by this idea of why people would toss away these images. Because really, you've paid for the product already. You pay for it when you get the photo taken, whether you like the photo or not. But then you're like, no, I don't like this one, which is like so... I mean, whomst among us has not taken a million selfies and then deleted them immediately upon
because
viewing them?
these wrinkles don't lie.
Yeah,
exactly.
Wait a minute, I don't like my forehead in that one. Do over. But he captures the very essence of people. Later on, I know I'm jumping ahead, but later on when Amelie goes to one of his jobs and she meets one of Nino's coworkers, she talks about how Nino used to collect photographs of people's shoe prints in wet cement, like the footsteps. Or if someone had an interesting laugh, he would record that. So he's very interested in these like fleeting impressions of people, the ephemeral qualities that otherwise would be lost. And then it's interesting that he then pivots to something much more tangible. Instead of a laugh or a sound, it's someone's actual face, essence.
Maybe he's just drawn to the unguarded, just completely yourself type of moment. You know what I mean? That's what he's drawn to. He wants to see the inside of someone through unscripted moments, guarded moments, things like that. So he tries to preserve it. That's just my...
Sweet though,
no, I feel like not only that, but rejected moments. I think
that's it.
too.
Like people who think, oh, this is not good enough, but he sees the good in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which I think Amelie does also. And that's why they become like two halves of the same coin, two dreamers kind of connected throughout time and space. And so Amelie takes this scrapbook home with her and is fascinated by it, going through it over and over again and becoming very comfortable in that until she starts to see signs around town asking for it back. And suddenly it gives her an idea, like, do I want to let it go, or do I want to find out who this person is collecting these images? Is this man in these faces that I've gone through all these pages over and over again? And throughout this film, Amelie has taken it upon herself, as we already have discussed, to kind of start to provide solutions to the people in her life that she observes. So, like, in her job as a waitress, she sees this horrible man who...
Joseph.
Yeah, who is a regular at her job, who's harassing one of the waitresses on staff.
Eve.
Yes, by recording constantly every movement that she makes. And one of the other women on staff makes some sort of offhanded comment to Amelie about romance and says, it's easy to make two people fall in love. All you have to do is say to one that the other one notices them. Mm-hmm. And then everything changes.
Oh, yeah. She's like the manager of the establishment.
But, like, it's such an interesting moment, that one little line, because it basically sets Amelie on her path. Because she begins to think like, oh, I can do this for them. I can fix this guy who's being so obnoxious to all of us and mean.
yeah.
And I can find him a new romance. And so who's the other constant in their establishment?
Georgette.
Georgette, who works at the pharmacy. So she sells like cigarettes and medicines, and she's also constantly so anxious and always having a new ailment of some kind.
Hypochondriac.
Yes, a hypochondriac for sure. So she says to one to the other, like, oh, well, who sits there and looks at you every day? So it's kind of funny, like, that really does happen in real life. Somebody else just has to be the catalyst outside of two people. But it doesn't always work out. Which I think is very interesting because, like, what I liked about this movie is not every solution that Amelie puts forward works out. Like, she's trying to fix all these problems for other people. And I like what you said earlier about her being selfless. But also part of me wonders, are the actions that she takes selfless?
See, and that's where the argument kind of comes into play because, like, you see this side of her, which is very lighthearted. She wants to do good for others. And one of my favorite parts of the film is when she takes up this blind man by the arm and she's, like, literally illustrating for him by mouth what is going on around them. One of the most beautiful parts of the film.
It is a really lovely part of the film.
But at the same time, there's a couple of characters in the film where she's like, oh, they're doing bad. We need to punish them or whatever. She can be quite controlling in the sense of, like, the environment around her, the people that are around her. She's quite controlling of the outcome of what happens to them. So, yes, she has great intentions, but where does the control end?
Yeah.
There's kind of a balance issue there.
Because, like you were saying, like, the people she's trying to control through their bad actions. Now, I find that very fascinating.
I think that the most egregious behavior beyond Joseph, because, like, he's
a bad guy.
He's a bad guy. He is a
You
sexist.
kind of have a moment
He's
where you
obsessive.
rally for him.
Yeah. Oh,
He's
yeah.
very obsessive.
You think he just needs to get laid, and then he does get laid, and, well, he lays Georgette, and that's just certainly not enough for him, because now it's another woman for him to fixate on and obsess over, and to be controlling and cruel
He's
towards.
got some childhood trauma that needs to be
Yeah,
for
right?
sure.
I mean, like, hello, that's Amelie's thing. Like, she's like, why can't you be like her? But the most, I think, egregious behavior is the grocer that's downstairs of her apartment. His name, it escapes me. It's certainly not important because he's mean.
He's mean.
He's very mean. We've got our best people looking up that information right now.
They're on it right now.
Our team is on it. And so...
Lucien.
And what's the name of his assistant? Because that's the thing, is that Lucien is so cruel to the man who works with him, who clearly has some sort of developmental delay.
Oh, Monsieur Collignon. Collignon is the grocer, and Lucien,
yes, Lucien is
the young boy.
So Lucien, I'm sorry I said you were a bad guy, Lucien. You were the good guy.
Yeah, he's the good guy. Sorry.
No. But Lucien, it's very interesting because, like, clearly Amelie is very fond of Lucien, and Lucien is involved with so many other stories as well, because there's another tenant in the building, the older man.
Monsieur Dufayel.
Yes, who is kind of fascinated by Amelie's behavior because he's an observer.
He's a big part of it too.
Yes.
Like he observes Amelie and what he basically sees what her potential is. Like you're doing everything for these other people. Why don't you choose yourself?
Yes,
basically.
absolutely. And he is an interesting character in and of himself because he's an artist who is constantly repainting the same painting.
And the painting is, oh my god, I have it here in my notes.
The painting is interesting because it's got this huge collection of people all kind of in the same moment, but he's struggling. He's been painting it for over 10 years.
Over 10 years, yeah. And it is, oh my god, I had it.
It's a Magritte painting, isn't it? It's
Renoir.
It's a Renoir painting, yes.
Because he gets so obsessed. Oh, because everybody's talking, Lady D.
Yeah.
Who cares about Lady D?
So the painting is the luncheon of a boating party, and he repaints it for like over and over and over again. But he specifically paints this younger little girl basically looking off into the distance while everyone else is kind of doing their thing in the painting or whatever, having their luncheon. And he basically is like, that's reminiscent of Amelie.
Yeah, because he says he can never capture that emotion correctly. And Amelie is immediately like, she recognizes that emotion in herself. And I think as he begins to learn more about Amelie, he sees that. And the way that Lucien comes into play here as well is that this older gentleman is also kind of trying to give Lucien like a little extra like kick of independence. Like, you can do this. Like, you can do these things and you have so much more potential than this terrible grocer is just telling you you have no potential. Because Lucien is so particular with the produce he picks out. And the grocer is like, ugh, this guy is terrible. Like, if you asked him to get this fruit or this vegetable, we'd be here all day. He's going to go through each one.
Really dismissive, just like really genuinely rude, and loves loves to pick on Lucien. And so Amelie is so exacting in her punishment of Collignon that she is able to make him think that he is going mad.
Right.
And you make such a good point, Joey, of like, how much control is she exerting? Because she does make him think that he's going crazy. She turns everything around in his apartment, puts this here, that there. Everything's just like off to the center. The shoes are too tight. The lights aren't bright enough.
Exactly.
But then she also takes it even a single step further. And it did kind of make me, oh, when he tries to call his mom.
Yeah.
Hold on. You know, that's somebody's mom. Like, you know, not everybody gets a chance to, you know. And so he calls his mom for help. So he dials on the speed dial memo, and it's a mental institution. And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, he loses it completely.
It's interesting because I think that particular like storyline kind of does bring all of the other like Amelie moments into question, because she could at any moment spoken up in Lucien's defense, because she's there among the crowd watching the grocer berate Lucien, making fun of him, and other people in the crowd are also not very like, they're kind of, you know, clearly not really excited about the way he's treating him. But instead of saying something in that moment and correcting the behavior, she's like, I will make him question his own world, and that maybe he'll be nicer because he realizes that not everything is perfect. And so throughout everything she does, she thinks, how can I fix this without anyone knowing it was me? Because I would like everything to work out karmically.
That's so true, because it starts when she uncovers this memento box in her apartment. And that's when she is this guardian angel looking out for other people.
Looking up the name over and over again, like trying to first to find out who used to live in her apartment. When she finds that out, looking out on every single like name in the book. Fine. But she never finds the person and say, I found this. Here it is for you. Instead, she decides to plant it in a place where that man will find it. And then he is like, oh, that was my guardian angel. And I think that does spark everything going on from that point forward. But what I really appreciate about the film is that, yes, many things do work out, but there's also still a tinge of Amelie knows it wasn't the universe. Amelie knows it was hers. Yeah. And I think that the story that is most manifested in is there's a woman who lives in her apartment. Is she like the landlady or the...
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She is clearly a very lonely woman who very classically takes Amelie into her apartment and says, oh, you have a few minutes. You can listen to my story. And she tells Amelie about how her husband had left her for another woman, and she has the letters. Not only the man wrote to her, but also wrote about this woman he pined for, and then he dies in an accident. And so she, the landlady, is kind of like, he never wrote anything like that about me. And Amelie reads about how there was a cache of letters found in like the Alps, like the mountains, that had been lost for decades. And she thinks, here's my opportunity. I will take all these letters, photocopy the words out of them to make a new letter all about this woman and about how she inspires that love in him. And so that she will feel better about her husband and feel like the love she still has for them is worthwhile. Which, yes, it works. But the moment when Amelie, like kind of like the crux of the film where Amelie is starting to realize these things are kind of collapsing around her and coming to the reality of the man with his scrapbook and whether or not she truly wants to know him, she's running back up to her apartment and that woman's calling after her. The letter, it arrived. Come read it. He loved me this whole time. But Amelie knows it's not real.
It's not real, yeah. No, that's where it gets really murky.
Yeah.
In the movie of like, okay, is this good? Is this bad? Like, where's the moral ground? Wait, I think her name Madeline Wallace.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Madeleine. Because then they're like, oh, she's like, my name is like Mary Magdalene.
Yes, yes.
I was born to cry my whole life,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just weep for this poor woman that did
Yeah.
nothing but love her husband.
Yeah.
It's definitely a movie that I think would be good in an ethics class because it's like, you know, is it right? Is it ethical to do things that improve people's lives or make them happier but are based in falsehoods? Like, and I think Amelie is eaten up by that guilt because she does not turn to the woman like, oh, tell me about this story. Because the woman calls after her, it's a miracle. And Amelie knows it's not. Amelie knows it's her and a photocopy machine that she, like, uses by stuffing quarters into it. It's a public copying machine. And all these moments are kind of collapsing around Amelie, which I really enjoyed because, again, I was going into this film thinking she was a manic pixie, like, dream girl type thing. But she really is a complicated character because the way that she tries to control the universe and force this whimsy, I think, is kind of put forward as a character flaw. Like, the way that she will not directly interact with Nino. She is leaving messages for him, leaving notes, and she's immensely disappointed when he does not follow through with the notes, not seeming to think about whether he actually found them or not.
Right, exactly.
Because in her mind, it has to line up. The universe has to deliver because she's been doing that for the universe.
Right. She's so shy, though. Like, she is so...
Painfully shy.
She is so shy.
So what...
She finally had her chance to speak to Nino. He came right in and he recognized her right away.
And that's what I was talking about earlier when they keep missing each other. That's how frustrating the film can be, is you're just like that longing that like, you had your chance. Why didn't you take it?
Yeah, because Amelie directly rejects that chance because she doesn't want to face it yet. Which I think is good too, because in the moment that they do finally totally meet each other, so Nino has been chasing this figure he keeps finding over and over again in these discarded photos. He's fascinated by this figure. That's who he initially ran after. And Amelie figures out who this man is by chance because she goes into a photo booth, pulls back the curtain, and he's like, I'll be just a moment. I'll be fixing this machine. Turns out it's the repairman for the machine. So he takes a sample photo right after he finishes the work. And so Amelie makes sure that Nino will find this man to answer the question because she wants to be the person that lines everything up together, that solves all the mysteries, which is just so sweet. And I think the interesting, we talked about the gnome earlier, before we dive into the rest of Nino and Amelie's story. Did that gnome make you guys think of anything?
No, it made me kind of cry because then when her dad finally strikes out on his own, he like uncages himself, you know, because like he's got these big tall fences and he's locked away. And Amelie says anything about anything. She's like, oh, I got an abortion and my boyfriend beats me. And he says, yes, it's Sunday or whatever, you know, just
right.
like totally,
just completely disconnected.
Yeah, and so like the whole thing, him watching and then saving all the photos that his little gnome sends him while he's on vacation.
So cute.
It's just so sweet.
Now wait, did it make you think of anything?
I mean...
Okay, there's no wrong answer, but here's what it made me think of was the Travelocity gnome.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You guys remember, anyone who grew up in the 2000s is going to remember
No, I remember it now. I was like, wait, where are we going with this?
Travelocity presents The Roaming Gnome, denouncer of travel myths. Our first myth, all travel sites are the same.
No way. Only Travelocity guarantees the whole shebang. Your trip, your stay, and of course, your price.
Myth 2, things disappear in the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, come on. You'd have to be an absolute goof to believe.
So the Travelocity gnome was this mascot, which I guess
that's
I don't even know if Travelocity exists anymore.
I don't know if it
travel
is.
agents anymore.
Yeah. But the Travelocity gnome was this mascot of sorts.
That is so spot on, Janine. That is very spot on.
Is this the Travelocity gnome?
Do you think that's where they got it?
Well, so here's the thing, that apparently...
Maybe.
So the Travelocity gnome campaign was a few years afterwards, in 2006. So the Travelocity gnome kind of picked up on the popularity of this, but apparently, because their marketing campaign was called Where Is My Gnome?
Oh, God, I gotta look this up now.
The idea of a traveling gnome or a roaming gnome actually dates back to the 1970s, where neighbors would kidnap other people's gnomes and do this. Like, literally go and take them to other places, take pictures, and send back, like, souvenirs.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah,
gnome.
send back souvenirs. And so the plot from Amelie, and then also later on the Travelocity gnome, all kind of stem from this initial 1970s meme of sorts of stealing your neighbor's gnome and taking it off places. Amelie has a regular at her cafe, or a friend.
Yeah, Philomena.
Yes, who is a
yeah.
airline stewardess who takes the gnome for her because she also wants her dad to have another source of whimsy in his life.
Right.
Like, because he will not leave his home. He's still clinging to the memory of his wife. And so Amelie's goal here is like, even your gnome is moving on, dude. Like, you deserve to see the world too. And it does work for her dad. He does leave the house once the gnome returns and he's seen all the postcards. He's like, I can travel and come home too. So yes, Amelie's meddling, so to say, has both its ups and its downs, because like the gentleman, that terrible gentleman who's a recorder,
Joseph,
he does hook up with a pharmacist, but then he also turns his critical eye towards the pharmacist, even though they've had nothing but good interactions to that point.
Yeah, like, she starts to realize that as much as you can control the circumstances, you can't control the people. And I think that that is really what ends up being so difficult for her when at every point Nino doesn't behave exactly as she wants him to. And that's probably why she gets so hurt. Because when he finally does return, or rather...
like decodes her message.
He decodes her message, but Eva, her coworker at her restaurant, has intervened in a way, in the same way that Amelie has intervened in everyone else's life. She intervenes with Nino because Amelie asked her to give him this note, and so she tells him, she says, let's meet elsewhere, let's meet outside of here. And that's her meddling, so to speak, the exact same way that Amelie did, but it's like, no. When I do it, it's for good. But Eva, when you do it, are you stealing the man of my dreams? Like, am I suddenly not good enough? She's so hurt by it.
Yeah, because it's definitely based in her own sense of self-worth. Because she's kind of, at this point, like, a waitress is... And I've never worked as a waitress. I know that other people in this room have worked in the service industry. But people kind of can treat them as side characters to a life. And I think that's how Amelie was kind of moving throughout a life. She was an observer. She was a person who would see other people move forward in their life. And I think that kind of established her sense of self-worth, because in her childhood, she didn't really have much agency. She wasn't even really allowed to leave her home. And especially after her mother died, that was kind of a thing that she had accepted. Like, I'm not a person who makes things happen for myself, but I can make things happen for other people, because as a waitress, I do that. As a person now interacting with the world, I can do that. And so I think she immediately kind of goes that, like, this is someone else's romance story. It's not mine. It could never be mine. And every romance, I've been reading a lot of romance books lately.
Girl, I've been reading a lot of smut. What?
Well, you're better than me. I'm just reading straight up, like, terrible romance that has, like, every cliche imaginable. But the third act misunderstanding is, like, the most classic plot piece of all time. Like, oh no, you don't get it. He loved you this whole time. You just overheard the wrong saying. Like, all that kind of thing. And that happens here, but it doesn't feel as cheesy as it does in others. Because I think you really get an understanding of who Amelie is at this point and why she would so suddenly think, it's just not going to happen for me. Like, if it's not going to happen this way, it's not going to happen for me.
But she never gives herself a chance.
Exactly.
I completely agree.
She never gives herself a chance.
So how does it come all together?
Well, actually, it is certainly because of Eva's meddling. Eva gives Nino Amelie's address, and he does the cliche in the romance novels where he goes to her apartment and he bangs on her door, but she won't answer.
Yep.
That misconnection, that frustrating, infuriating part that just drives Joey wild.
You just want to scream?
Just open the door, girl.
Just open the damn door.
Open the door. He's right there.
Exactly.
What's so sweet is that she, like, imagines him. she's baking, and she imagines him running out, downstairs to a little grocery stall to get her what she needs, and he comes back into the, and it's that
she's already imagining domesticity with him.
Mm-hmm.
A real life, but it's like she manifests him there in front of the door, is what she thinks.
But that's the whole thing, is like she uses her imagination to like the 10th degree, where like everyone else is very kind of like base level. Hers is like top tier boss mode imagination, where she's like, she has all of these like situations mapped out, scenarios, but in real life she needs to be grounded.
Yeah. There's some great scenes in the movie where they literally like show the manifestation of her imagination through like photographs coming to life.
Exactly.
And things like that, which is so sweet. And so in this moment, you kind of are getting this blurred, like, what's real, what isn't real.
And like, it was his hand like gently on the beaded like partition of her door that she like heard it. Mm-hmm. Oh, but it was just her little kitty. It was just her little kitty coming in. And then the door knocks. Wait a minute. I didn't picture that. I didn't dream that. That's actually happening.
Yep.
And it's him. And he wants to speak with her. And he writes a little note. He says, I'll come back. I'll return. Like, he makes it very clear that he's coming back for her in ways that she only just drops these, encoded, encrypted messages, these encrypted love letters of like, if you can solve my riddles 3, then we'll be together, you and thee. And it's like, girl, drop the act. Like, love is knocking at your door.
Exactly.
And it was when he goes downstairs, she looks out the window, he's not there anymore. Oh my God, I'm a total fool. But wait, she had just gotten a video message from Monsieur Dufayel. My darling Amelie, you have got to go out and live life.
Exactly.
I cannot.
Get your head out of your ass and go for that man.
I will do that. And then she runs out the door, almost runs into him. Boom, there he is.
Exactly.
Finally face to face, and they can be together. But wait, there's still one little last moment of control that Amelie exerts. First, she kisses him here, and here, and makes him do the same. And it's like code boxes.
Right,
You have to shuffle it to get the picture just right. And it's like, if he can do that, then he's completely unlocked her.
Yeah. He does unlock her. They have a moment together and they sleep together that night. And earlier in the film, it's established like she's had romantic entanglements, but nothing has ever inspired any sort of pleasure in her.
Yeah.
But that moment certainly did. And it's so sweet because it really does come full circle. And of course, the movie being French, I don't know why I thought that it would be so non-sexual, because the trope of a manic pixie dream girl.
No, there's a lot of sex.
Is often very asexual, like a kind of idea that a woman who can be quirky and fun and maybe non-committal is also not going to be the person that makes love with a man, But in this movie, like, Amelie is already kind of established as a woman who has sex, and Nino works in a porn store. Like, it's also like a sex shop with also like strippers in the back, and the stripper is one of the people who's also involved in sort of orchestrating this larger romance. It's very interesting. And so it was so nice to finally see like a movie where it's not just the romance that it's kind of like everything was meant to be, but also they have sexual chemistry as well. It's like everything works. It's not just that they can dream together, that they can like each other, but they can also have pleasure together, which is just wonderful. And so what a delightful movie.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much, Joey, for this one. I really liked this, and I did check this out from the library.
No, that's awesome. And thank you guys for having me. I had so much fun, like, just kind of diving into this film because, again, it's one of my favorite ones, and I had a great time. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it really does tell me a lot more about you, Joey, that this is one of your favorites.
I'm full of whimsy.
You're
what?
full of whimsy,
Stop.
but it's also about, not just loving someone despite their idiosyncrasies. It's loving someone for them.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. I love that. I love that.
And I think also being willing to open yourself up to what the universe can provide for you and what the universe can manifest for you. And so I think the lesson is that we need to start meddling in other people's lives.
Wait a minute. I don't know.
Hold on.
hold on.
Hold on, wait a minute, because what if I'm not ready? But
Well,
you'll
yeah.
decide. The universe and my friends will decide for me.
How about this? How about we just allow ourselves to experience things? Be open enough to new experiences. Allow yourself to just enjoy what life has to offer. Don't hide away from it.
Right.
So,
Amen,
yeah.
Joey.
Right.
This should be your podcast.
whatever, stop it.
I'll drink
raise
to that.
We raise our glass. Woo!
Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink in front of the microphone. Hold on. Let's get this clink.
Clink, clinky, clinky,
Clink.
clink.
Wait, in front of this microphone. Come here. Like, the microphone. Well, Joey, thanks so much for being here with us.
No,
we
thank
really
you.
appreciated you.
These are my favorite people, and I really enjoy their
look at
podcast. And you
us.
guys should watch more movies.
Watch
and
more movies.
Exactly.
And go to the library.
Yes, go to the library.
I will say this movie I did check out on DVD, which, sometimes you think, what's the difference between a DVD and a Blu-ray? And then you watch a beautiful movie like this. I wish it was on Blu-ray instead. The DVD just does not do it as much justice, so...
Oh my god, it's
But
such a beautiful film.
It's a beautiful film, but I was glad that the library had it. It was nice to have a piece of foreign cinema in your library and not have to worry about what streaming service is it on and da-da-da-da-da. So the library, shout out to the library for having this in your catalog. I greatly enjoyed being able to check it out. And you can find us on checkout_cinema on Instagram, and we are on Spotify, but you can find us anywhere. My personal letterboxd is Honeyed Life. And Amelia?
Amelia_Grindhouse. And Joey, are you on?
I'm on Instagram.
Instagram.
Joey, you want to shout out your
Yeah, I
Instagram?
guess,
You don't
sure.
have to, but if you want
I mean,
to.
it's fine. I think it's
Only if you want freaks from the podcast to be on there.
Yeah, I want a couple of freaks. Why not?
Calling all freaks, subscribe to Joey's.
It's JoJo Snow 88. So
JoJo Snow 88. Thanks for being here. And plug Babe Cinema as
Oh,
well.
and you can follow me on Substack at Babe Cinema.
We forgot our berets. We have berets downstairs, but that's okay. We have the wine. That's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys hear the berets on our head? Ah, yes.
yes,
oui.
we're pressing down on them now.
Ah, oui.